Dear ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our pre-conference podcast series. And this time today was me for our future upcoming event, Power Price Forecasting Forum, which will happen 9 and 10 of June in Barcelona, Spain. I have Alex Halsema from PZEM, and I'm super happy, Alex, that you're joining us today. Welcome.
Thank you. Happy to join.
It's going to be a short pre-conference podcast for you, ladies and gentlemen, to find out what to expect at our event and what to get ready for. So, Alex, could you please tell us more about your role in the company and the PZEM itself, the company itself?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, PZEM, it's an energy company in the Netherlands. Yeah, basically, we have some production assets. We have a trading department, and we're also supplying to our customers. The production assets, basically, we have some gas-fired generation, the only nuclear power plant in the Netherlands we are operating. Next to that, a biomass plant, some wind and some solar. Besides this power part, we also have some availability of a gas storage unit. So we can do a bit with the gas flows, and we're operating a small pipeline. Yeah, all of this to operate all these things, we have 24/7 desks that manage these things, try to do intraday trades, getting the most value out of that, and of course then we have some longer term trading for the hedging of long-term assets, managing our customers, etc. And basically, my job in this, at least this part of the company, is I'm a team lead of 2 different teams. So I'm leading the asset optimization team, and asset optimization is basically responsible for forecasting the day ahead customer demands, the share of the renewable generation of our wind and solar parks. For the rest, we're also responsible for creating bidding strategy of our power plants, and proposing some long-term hedging to our long-term traders. So that's one team I'm responsible for. The other team that I'm responsible for is the market analysis team. And yeah, with market analysis, we really try to predict power prices, and that's ranging basically from what we expect the next PTU, so the next 15-minute prices, up to next week or a year ahead or even decades ahead. So yeah, that's one leg there, and next to that, we ensuring that all the models are basically updated with all the fundamental inputs, such as expected demand for the coming years, the number of heat pumps, electric vehicles, etc. And then finally, with the market analysis team, of course, we are also providing information to the different departments and the management, sometimes on a regular basis, but also at any ad hoc questions. So yeah, basically these are the two teams that I'm leading, and my role. Yeah.
So busy man at work, right? A lot of work there to do.
Enough to do. Makes it fun. And it's also good because then you get a bit of feeling for the interaction that the different departments have, and it's good to get these insights instead of just working one department next to the other one.
I see. So within the scope of your role, I have a question which is related to it. Why it is important, why it's topical to discuss a short-term price forecasting and unit commitment?
So at the moment, of course, we see extreme volatility in mainly the gas markets. We somehow have to manage the assets. Although, of course, I want to point out that the importance of managing this is negligible to just what is currently going on, the people there having to manage their lives. But besides that, in the company, of course, we also have to try to manage this volatility as good as possible. And for example, we've seen days with swings of gas price of more than 30 euro per megawatt hour, which is approximately a 60 euro price swing in the cost price of operating cost of a variable operating cost of a gas-fired power plant. So if you want to make a prediction of what you think the prices the next day will be or the days thereafter, yeah, as soon as you see these big swings in gas prices, if a model you more or less trying to predict what your power prices will do, and given that these swings can be really abruptly within a day, that going through the day, but even from 1 minute to the other, the swings can be huge. Yeah, you really have to focus on getting this short-term forecasting done quickly, the price forecasting, and of course accurately. So yeah, that's on for your power price forecast, but the power price forecast also has an effect on what you do with unit commitment, because I have a power plant and maybe at one point I'm deciding, okay, I'm expecting to make some losses in the night, but I'm willing to handle these losses because it saves me start cost. But if suddenly these gas prices spike, then it might be that the losses in the night are too big and I want to turn off the unit. So you're getting a completely different unit commitment plan. But it also, if you're starting to bidding in these units differently, it will also again have an effect on the eventual day ahead price. So yeah, it's really at the moment it's has a big impact on what is going on, huge swings. So yeah, it's really important at the moment to have a good vision on this.
I see, great. And just one more time to remind you all, ladies and gentlemen, that Alex Halsema will be speaking at the Power Price Forecasting Summit, 9 and 10 of June, Barcelona, face-to-face event of Future Bridge. And the topic, Alex, you're going to be presenting this continuous inflow of data, short-term fundamental price forecasting and unit commitment. I have here a question. In terms of are there any long-term fundamental changes that ensure this topic will remain actual, relevant, so to say?
Yeah, of course, where we now see this gas price volatility, hopefully it will reduce in the future again. But what we're seeing is really the additional of all renewable capacities, solar, winds, and at the moment we're already seeing quite a lot of impact on the prices. But with all the additions that are coming in the future, also with the Fit for 55 program, it will just get bigger and bigger. And also there you will see a bit similar every time when you have a new weather run. So just small deviations in wind and solar will start really having a big effect on the output of wind and solar. So yeah, also in the future, all these future developments will help, or so to say, creating a lot of volatility, which somehow we have to manage and try to keep in our model. So there also it's really getting models that are that have enough speed. So if you have a new weather run, that you can run your model again, have new price estimations, use that for either unit commitment or for your day ahead forecasting, which traders can use to take positions. So yeah, I would say it will in the end get more and more important to have this focus on the short term, because also in the end, intraday you want to manage this as well, because there you also have all these changes in weather. So even when you're predicting your day ahead price, you also have to start keeping in mind, are there parties that want to have flexibility intraday? So they might offer less volume to the day ahead markets, and that will then also have an effect again on the power prices. So it will become more and more important to do this.
Thank you for your answer here. According to day ahead price forecasting, I have here such a question: which challenges actually the industry should prepare when dealing with day ahead price forecasting?
There's one really big challenge coming up. It's in April. We're actually going to have the introduction of the core flow-based mechanism. So what is that mechanism? Is basically trying to optimize social welfare in a region. We currently have that in the CWE area, and it will be enlarged to have basically the whole of Central Europe included there as well. And where currently you could say predicting price is relatively easy, because power will flow from the cheap country to the more expensive country, and you can see them a bit in isolation. in this whole flow-based concept, where you want to optimize social welfare, it can actually happen that power is flowing from an expensive country to a cheaper country, if that in the end is better for social welfare of the region as a whole. So yeah, you're getting basically, you can get counterintuitive flows. So it will make it more challenging to predict these prices, and sometimes also more difficult afterwards to say, why did we see these prices? And because at a first glance, it might be that 2 days are almost exactly the same, and they have completely different outcomes because of this mechanism. So yeah, that's really a challenge which we have to look into, what the effects of that will be.
See, and giving the implementation of core flow-based market coupling is taking place right before the conference, before June. What are the other challenges that industry actually should be aware of in the short run?
Yeah. So yeah, there's also another big change coming up. It's originating from European legislation, where basically they say we want to have as much integrated power markets as possible. So we are getting them on a day-ahead markets. That's also part of this flow-based market coupling. But also intraday, they want to say, okay, we want to basically tie the imbalance systems to one another. And for that, we are getting some European platforms, Picasso, Mari, and Ter. And basically what these platforms are doing, that's, well, intraday that you already have the trading between countries through the XBET, but then also for the imbalance system, you will get a bit similar platforms. So then it's really saying, okay, a country that is short needs to activate some plans to get the system in balance. And while previously it might be that they're activating a plant, the cheapest plant in their own country, it will actually be the cheapest plant somewhere in Europe, and which the power they can get to their own country. So you're getting a complete change in intraday in the imbalance. Basically, the risks and the opportunities that you see in the imbalance market will change. And the implementation of that is actually starting the 1st of July, but then only a small amount of countries will join. But in the next 2 years, more and more countries will join these platforms. Yeah, that will really have a strong impact on the imbalance markets and thereby on the intraday market. But also because you intraday positions, decided positions will change. It can also mean that on a day-ahead basis, you're going to start bidding in differently. And if you start bidding in differently, yeah, again, you're getting back to the situation that it will have an impact on day-ahead prices. So, yeah, it just gets more and more interconnected, all the different markets. And yeah, as the interconnectedness, and that I see really as a big challenge on how we can model that, because you're getting so dependent also on what other parties are doing. So yeah, it's a challenging time that is coming.
Great. Thank you very much for your answers on our questions, and thank you for sharing the outlook on the challenges that are expecting the industry in the short run and the long run. We are super happy to welcome you, Alex, on our event, and we're welcoming, ladies and gentlemen, you as well to join Alex Halsema face-to-face live in Barcelona, Spain on 9 and 10 of June for Power Price Forecasting Summit of Future Bridge, and be able to discuss these challenges, trends, and burning questions that arise face-to-face on our panel discussions and networking sessions. Thank you, Alex, for your time. Super happy to have you here with us. Thank you, it's an honor. Looking forward to see you face-to-face in Barcelona.
Yeah, and of course, thanks for the invite. Looking forward also to come to Barcelona and having indeed these discussions with participants. Hopefully getting some additional insights as well from the conference. So yeah, happy to come.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.